So another common mistake in tennis, when you're hitting the ball, people tend to use their wrist, okay? I'm not saying not to use your wrist entirely. I'm just saying it's too wristy sometimes. Do not make a habit of relying on your wrist too much when you're swinging your racket. What do I mean by that? So when you're here, the contact point is right here. I see a lot of people using their wrist too early and too much. Like they're even like using their wrist to go up this way, right? When you do your forehand or backhand even, once you go down from here, when you swing up, notice that my arm is all straightened out, okay? You do not need to rely on your wrist to get your contact point or for your racket to be close upon contact point. Okay, so from here, I'm not relying on my wrist too much or even at all to get that close contact on the racket. See that? People tend to go like this, do the wrist, and sometimes even at the contact point. What just happens is, as soon as you go down, they go up like here, and then they do the wrist thing to follow through. What happens is it opens up the racket, and that's why we get all those sky balls going out the court, okay? Because now it's open. Do not do that. What you want to do is, as soon as you go down from here, from your forehand, just straighten your arm out, and then it will eventually be at your sweet spot, be close upon contact about the ball. So from here, it naturally closes up on that contact point as you swing through your forehand motion, okay? Even the backhand, same thing. When I do my backhand, one hand or two hand, as I go down, I'm not relying on my wrist. It just naturally goes close, racket, on that sweet spot as long as you're doing your backhand correctly and your forehand as well. And then that should follow through right then. Same thing with the one hand, it naturally closes up upon that sweet spot. So that's what you want to do. You don't want to rely on your wrist. Just all you gotta do is swing straight. So if you're relying on your wrist too much, then that's probably mean you're doing your forehand and backhand wrong. Okay, I would argue that you're doing it wrong because most of the time, if you're doing it right, it should be straightened it out right there. You don't even need the wrist. Okay, I'm not saying you shouldn't use your wrist at all. I'm just saying it should be less. Okay, it should be less wrist to none. Not this. Okay, you don't go generate topspin. As soon as you hit the contact point, you don't do your wrist and then brush up like this. It doesn't work like that. The contact point from the ball and the racket is just like, what, millisecond or like not even a second, you know, like a millisecond or something like that. Like as soon as it hits, it's gone. You don't have time to pronate up or whatever. All right? All you gotta do is just swing. You don't need the wrist too much. Okay? Less wrist. Another common mistake that beginners make is when they bend their knees, they're still not going to that brushing up motion on the ball. They're not going from low to high. If you have watched my previous video about common mistakes on tennis, I already said to bend your knees, but I see people bending their knees just by bending their knees. They're going under the ball, but they're not really going and hitting under the ball for that brushing up motion, low to high. So beginners' mistake are like this. Okay? So they're swinging right to left. Notice that my knees are not bent. Okay? They are not bent right now, right to left. So people, what do? I say, bend your knees. So they do bend their knees, but they're still hitting the ball from right to left. They're still hitting it right to left. The whole point of bending knees is for you to get under the ball, lower than the ball, so then you can get up to that brushing up motion, right? So when people or beginners, when beginners do bend their knees and still going right to left, it defeats the purpose of the bending the knees. Okay, so the term is, I guess the term I should have used is, you need to hit from low to high. That will generate that top spin, which what you need for that ball to stay inside the court. All right, so from here, low to high. So if this is the bounce right here, right? That's the bounce of the ball. We bend my knees, going up, and then see that brushing up over here, following through my forehand. Again, low. See how I attack the ball, low to high. I'm over exaggerating sometimes here, but that's for my point to get across, okay? So low to high. Low, bend my knees. I'm attacking the ball low to high. Low to high. Another common mistake that tennis beginners do is they're not rising up after they bent their knees. So what do I mean by that? So if I'm already bent my knees here, and then they're already doing the low to high motion like what I just explained, they're not rising up, they're just staying still down here. No, okay? You're still not, you're in the right track, but it's not completely right. You're still missing a step. When I go down, low to high, notice my legs should be going up as I swing up. That will make it so you can generate more top spin as you hit the ball. The momentum, low to high, going up, brushing motion, will generate more top spin as you hit it. So you are basically going high, low, high. Okay, so from up, you go down and then up again. So then you can immediately go back in position. That's what you need to do. So when my racket's down, my body's down, as I swing up, I'm going up, rising with it. Another common mistake that tennis beginners do is they're not swinging all the way through their forehand or backhand. They already got everything right, down to the T, except that one last thing, or at least one of the other things, right? The following through. Now, I see sometimes they try to follow through, but they're not following through enough, or their follow through is not really how it should be followed through, okay? So low to high, that's a follow through. Now, sometimes I see them, they stop right here and then they follow through. So they break it. So it should be one swing, not breaking it down to two. Again. See that? They're stopping in the middle. As soon as they hit the ball, they stop for like a millisecond and then they follow through. No. You gotta follow through in one swing. So from point A to point B, that's what you should be doing. Okay? Not from point A to point B, that's not it. And then you go C. That's not how you should be doing it. From point A to point B. Okay? The ball is just there, it's just in the way. So basically, if it's a train from point A to point B, there's a blockage here. They're just going through at it. The train is ramming through that whatever blocking the way and still going there, okay, without stopping, right? That's what you want on your forehand and backhand, okay? So from point A, swing entirely until you get here. Do not stop in between. Okay, you gotta follow through as it is. This is point A, this is the point B. This is not point B. Do not stop and then go here. That's basically point A, point B, point C. That is completely wrong. Please do not do that. One complete swing from point A, point B. And one last common beginner tennis mistake for this video is holding your breath when you hit the shot. Have you ever seen anyone go like this? They're holding their breath, right? You can tell. Do not hold your breath. You're supposed to be exhaling when you're hitting the shot. Why that is because when you exhale through the shot, it relaxes you. And with you being relaxed, you actually do less harm in terms of unforced errors. You should be exhaling. That is why some other tennis players, commonly Sharapova come to mind, if you remember her, and I think Azarenka does it as well. They actually kind of like scream or like say like they grunt, like in a way, right? But it's not really in terms of trying to annoy the opponent. They're just simply exhaling. Okay, it's pretty common on some other tennis players. I know some people gets annoyed by it, and that is just basically them breathing out while they're doing their shot. And it's not really illegal because it's only illegal if you make any sound or noise when your opponent is hitting. So if the ball is on your side, you're hitting it, you know, by any means, you can go ahead and exhale out loudly. You can go ahead and do so like this. Hit. Ah. Oh. Push. Push. You can go ahead and do that because it's on your side. You're hitting it. Okay? But it would be illegal if while the enemy is hitting the ball, then you're making any sounds and stuff like that. Then that will be a distraction and you will be penalized by the umpire. So do not do that. So the takeaway again is you need to be breathing out. You need to exhale when you hit your shots so you can be more relaxed, less unforced errors. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Please give a like and don't forget to subscribe for more tutorial and epic videos. As always, please be epic, stay epic, you are epic. I'm Coach Francois from MyTennisAcademia, your source for everything tennis. Thank you very much.